Heya, it's Lid here. How you going? Here at Darling Social, we break down beauty history and how the modern beauty industry impacts you. I'm Lydia-Renee Darling. I'm an actor, writer, and a former makeup artist. And if you want to, you can subscribe, spill beauty tea with me here every single week. Now, in my first video, we covered larger beauty industry trends that I think are most likely to hit in 2025. So that's everything from a glorification of foreign cosmetics if US tariffs are implemented, to the rise of cherry hues and my personal, feelings about mocha mousse, the Pantone color of the year. Here we're going to go through makeup in detail by section. So face and base makeup, we're going to do eyes, lips, etc. But I'm also going to cover skin, body care, and fragrance. So without further ado, we're going to get into it. So I'm going to do a bit of a get ready with me while we chat through all of this. Started off with one of my holy grails is the NYX Control Freak Brow Gel, so I already have this in the brow, so they look a little less insane in the membrane. I also have this Mocha Rose that I prepped with. I put my mom onto this too. She loves it. She goes through so many tins. There's the tin version of the tube. I find the tube just easier to get out, but I have a tin as well. Here are my big skincare predictions for 2025. I think milky finishes, whether it's called a toner or an essence, doesn't matter. I think we're going to see more milky finishes, whether it's called a toner, an essence, or like this, it's a toner, cream and toner mist. I think that's going to capitalize on things we've seen released like the Road Glazing Milk. So I think that could be more like moisturizers, all-day serums. So the Hada Labo Hyaluronic Lotion is one of my all-time favorites. I found when I was living in Tokyo, and it's pretty affordable, great actives while being light enough for a day out when you're commuting in Tokyo summer. You can also try something like a Glossier Future Dew. That's like a no dry down kind of highlighting serum. It's plush but really wet. There's no other way to put it. So if you're a dry skin girly like me, you'll probably have fun with both of those products, but I think oily skin people would hate that shit. I think more and more actives will also be put into makeup to make people feel like they're not wearing makeup, or what I call the de-makeupification of makeup. A good example would be the newly released blush from the Glow recipe that they insist is not a blush but a flush, which is like, really? But okay, I don't see that trend stopping anytime soon. Our culture has changed a lot since 2020, and there's been a mass interest in skincare over makeup because, well, wearing a makeup look for yourself or under a mask just wasn't the biggest priority when people were literally dying. People are dying, Kim. I think there's also an extra illusion of value there because there's the selling point that you're not making yourself look good now, like in the short term with makeup, but you'll look good months from now because this makeup isn't even makeup. It's just so good for your skin and you look naturally gorgeous. Oh, it's just a little something. It's a little something. Now, here are my makeup predictions for 2025. I think we're going to see the end of a makeup era as the dewy look starts to find more of a middle ground for everyday wearers. So does that mean I think matte is back? I think the return of matte will actually be a rise of more blurred formulas or described as blurred formulas. We've already seen this in the past year or so, more with primers, with bases, and blushes being promoted as blurring. I think the pendulum is swinging back from that very wet, dewy skin look. How many times can I say wet in this video? I think the wet skin looks of the early 2020s are now swinging back around to mattes. Maybe this is my personal experience showing, but I think we've now got more innovation in terms of formula in the cosmetics industry. So many of us, including myself, your local dry skin girly, were burned by the super hyper matte mid 2010s looks, and we're not going to have, hopefully, the same dusty finishes we might have had in years past. I think we'll be meeting in the middle, a middle ground of satin and matte for base makeup. I also think we'll see more multi-purpose products, and the reason I think this is because we're going to see particularly more multi-use sticks, and I think we'll see them at a higher price point. And in theory, I think that's because it will save you money to have a two-in-one, but people will want to feel like they're investing in something like higher quality, kind of like we're seeing right now with the lipstick theory, where people might only be able to buy a lipstick, but they're going to treat themselves to a more expensive one because that's the treat they can afford in the cost of living crisis. So I'm thinking for complexion sticks and multi-use sticks, that would be more of the sort of merit complexion stick. This could also be like the nude stick type of offering in that price point. And I think we'll see more and more hit the market in that bougier price point. Now for cheeks. I think blush is getting toned down both intensity and in color, so we won't see blush use as much of a pop or focal point on the cheek because those more heightened flushes are already starting to reach their trend peak and have reached their trend peak. What I do think we'll see is more natural kind of ruddy flushes that are more in line with the boyfriend blush micro trend. I think the peachy and reddish tone blushes have also trickled down a lot from celebrity makeup artists, and we see a lot of that kind of casual red brought into the Victoria's Secret supermodel tutorial-esque looks that people have been playing with more and more. It's this lit from within flush that you could pass off as just being very alert and awake and not at all wearing any makeup. Now for the lips. I think blurred and blotted finishes are kind of the inverse trend of lip oils that we've seen in the past several years. So I think the Rogue lip liner and Refi lip liners capture this phenomena pretty well in terms of new releases. But so do lower price point products like the ColourPop Blotted look, and that has been out for a while. And so this look has already been a thing for some time, where people will do kind of the tissue blotting technique that's very classic, and that gets a more lived in kind of lower maintenance look throughout the day for your lipstick. Back in Korea, it was in 2015, I think, it was really popular to conceal the edges of the lip to make the lips look smaller, and then use kind of a blurring blotting technique in the center, making this blotting technique more than just a color, but also kind of a dimension change for the size of your lips. So there are different ways to play with this blurred and blotted lip technique. I don't expect those of us in the Western markets will be making our lips look smaller anytime soon. Softer, almost fluffy matte textures will be big. I really love the Charlotte Tilbury lip blurs. They're super comfortable and very easy to apply. They're one of my favorites. The Gucci matte lipsticks, I also scored them at either Marshalls or TJ Maxx online. I can't really remember. Those I've been really impressed by, not for the actual price point, but for the discounted price point I scored them at. I really like them. Like I mentioned, you can definitely play around with this textural trend just by using what you already have, delicately removing some of the lipstick you've already got on, and you can kind of use that tissue method. There are like tutorials ad nauseum on that because it's also kind of a historic trend. A lot of people used to do this back in the day, and would also add powder on top sometimes to help with the longevity or perceived longevity of their lipstick. We now see companies at lower price points like Maybelline just released the Teddy Tints. I'd love to get my hands on some of those. Compared to some of those higher end formulas, you can even try NYX's liquid lipsticks just to dip a toe, see if you like these kind of matte finishes, and then you want to do that blurring effect, see if you can do it with something you already have without having to commit to anything super expensive you don't know for sure you'll like. Now, what do I think the big eye trends are for 2025? I think some of these Kiss lash clusters that are meant to be like semi-permanent, somewhere between your classic falsie and like a lash extension, I think those will become more and more popular. Lash extensions, they require a ton of routine maintenance, and they require just a lot of in-person visits, not just to keep up the look, but also for safety and hygiene reasons, because it's your eyes and you really need to make sure your eye health is always taken care of. So personally, I'd like to see these semi-permanent clusters continue to be popular because I hope more options get released from different brands. I think getting different options from different brands with new glue types and sealants that can make application and wear easier, but also long lasting, would be ideal. I think other than that, we'll see one and done shadows keep their popularity, but maybe with a different spin. So we've already seen eyeshadow palettes fall out of favor the past several years as people become more critical about just how much stuff they have. But I think those one and done sparkly scattered light effect shadows are also a result of the more natural no makeup looks we've seen dominate since 2020. The changes will mainly come with eyeshadow sticks versus eyeshadow pans. Eyeshadow is the makeup I'm least likely to put on since I have sensitive eyes. So when I do put on eye makeup, I love a stick for just the simplicity of one color, one swipe, maybe two. It's just an easier, more portable option. You just need a mirror, not even like just a reflective surface, and your fingers, and you don't have to take a whole palette or a brush if you want to touch up or go from day to night for after work. I also think smoky liners will also be big this year for similar reasons. I think firstly the mood is kind of grim And people will probably start leaning into sooty, blurry finishes on the eyes and in makeup as a whole anyway. So a low maintenance smoky eye with just a liner is probably the easiest way to go for everyday people. I think it also makes sense to see cooler tone smoky eyes this year because 90s and Y2K makeup looks have come back around. They already use cooler undertones on the eyes. I love the NYX smoky eyeliners for easy blending, but the bougie option that I've really been digging are the lips and eye multi-use pencils. They're the Makeup Forever ones, and I do get the hype. I have the little mini set, and I wish they sold it year-round instead of limited edition because I think it makes more sense travel-wise for me and what I'm likely to need in terms of quantity. So if you can try a mini or a smaller sample first, I'd go for that. They're great for that smoky, softly blended look. Let's talk body actives because I think we'll see more in your body washes and oils and lotions, but I think we'll move more toward dupes and lower price points of existing products. So we see these actives being offered a lot in high-end offerings in like Honey or Plus Luxe Unfiltered, but brands like Naturium and APLB are also bringing this to mid and lower range price points, so I think this will only continue. And along those same lines as skincare for the face and neck, people want that added value or perceived added value of actives for all over the body, because if you're gonna shower with body wash anyway, why not get one that promises more supple, smooth skin? Now, body serums or light oil / gel hybrid formulas I think are going to be all the rage this year. We have to make sure, like with lip oils, that we're actually getting the item that's described instead of just marketing hype, because I love you, NYX, but I'm looking at you, the fat lip oil. Okay, do I like it? Yes. Is it good? Yes. Is it a lip oil? No, it's not. We're more active again as a society. We're more social. We're outside more. I mean, I'm not, but most people are because they're normal. And we need things that aren't going to weigh us down during a commute or work, or when you're out drowning your sorrows about late stage capitalism and matcha lattes after work, or maybe that's just me. But this is also coming to more affordable brands, which I love to see. And my personal favorite, one of them, is the Frenchy Cashmere Vanilla Lotion. It's fantastic. I think I might be making this up, or maybe it's a Mandela effect thing, but I do remember seeing it originally described as a body serum, and I was like, okay, yeah, so you're just reinventing lotion. But it actually is very light and comfortable, and it soaks in super quickly. So if you get hot at night, you have hot flashes, or you just want something that's a little more light wearing during the day, it's a great pick that's more budget friendly. Highly, 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 highly recommend Frenchy. Okay, so I don't think for nails most of these picks will be hot takes, but my environmentally conscious polish prediction might feel out of left field. So eco-friendly polishes, maybe even sun activated if the tech is there, I think will get bigger. And I've seen these like LED and green polishes from a brand called The Manicurist on Amazon, and I thought, okay, maybe this will be a growing demand. Not just because people have concerns around the safety of UV lamps that are used to cure gel, which, you know, we don't have a lot of studies on in terms of the same kind of timing, frequency, the same intervals that mimic the salon. But I think this also is another option for a more low maintenance look because you don't need a lamp anymore. You can just go outside and like dry your nails in the sun. Honestly, you don't even have to go outside to get the sun if you don't want to. You can stay in your cave like a little goblin freak, which is what I do. I think eco-friendly polishes that use fewer microplastics and that are just more difficult to break down, or that straight up just don't break down, are also top of mind for a lot of us. Not just with beauty products we're consuming, but really with every product we're consuming now. We're being more critical about how much waste companies are producing. I think the popularity of press-ons will continue too. I think it just doesn't make sense for consumers to spend upwards of like $50 to $100 plus every 3 to 4 weeks and take time out of their schedule to go and get their nails done. Most people just don't have the time or money. I think there could be kind of a more Gel X method, aka full cover gel tip options at the drugstore. So the Kiss soft gel ones, I have these. They kind of marry the experience of an in-salon UV gel with a press-on. I also think short and medium lengths will probably be the most practical for people day to day, and my guess is that instead of charms on press-ons, or even when people do end up treating themselves and going into the salon and wanting designs, don't think they're likely to do charms or full charms. I think more soft gel designs on top so they don't snag as much. Could also be stickers and stamping to avoid this. I think we'll also see an emphasis on texture and finish. We've seen that with the glazed donut nails. I think because cat eye gels slash velvet slash magnetic nails have been really big, they'll continue to be big because they're a fun way to add in texture or like interest to the nail without doing intricate designs that cost extra or just add a ton of individual placement and steps when you're at home trying to mimic it yourself. Okay, let's talk fragrance. Now, I think we're gonna see more samplers, but specifically what I wanna see are not just samplers, but mix and match vials. Tokyo Milk had some of these that I loved when I was younger, and they discontinued them. I still have them. They're such a unique scent that I just can't get over. There's a root beer one that smells like buttered popcorn, and they're the most amazing mix of gourmands, and so I want to have more of those mix and match experiences. So like Tokyo Milk or someone, please bring this back so I can have my little custom perfume DIYs and feel like I'm, I don't know, a kid again, just playing around with my little potions. So some samplers I've liked that aren't mix and match but are just lovely are the Mochi Glow dessert set and the Le Mont Gourmand set. Say that 5 times fast. The practicality there, I think, is that it's just more economical and fun for people. They're getting the variety without having to drop like $50 and up on an actual perfume. And for that reason, I also predict body mists continuing to be a trend because they're just not as expensive as an eau de parfum. I think we'll also see more perfumes come out based on vibes or experiences versus literal names. And yes, we see that already, but it's, I think, going to be bigger because it's selling something that's not essential, like a perfume, and it has to have some sort of nostalgia or experience tied to it so that they're getting across the item is not just an object, it's something more. And if you like Missing Person, by the way, I smelled it in store at Sephora and I was like, oh my god, this smells like something I already know. Not a person, but this perfume I already had called the Egyptian Goddess Oil, and I've had it as a gift from my mom since I was like 12. Now, I still have most of it left because it's so concentrated, and I very highly recommend it as a budget-friendly option. And the Egyptian Goddess Oil also came out first, so kind of an innovator over here. I think we'll also see even more gourmands like the Crumble collab and Dunkin' collabs. I'm not just saying this because I am a gourmand obsessed girly myself, but I think it's because there's so much food-based marketing in beauty and fragrance at the minute, so it's only going to increase. Brands are discovering that the best way to expand an audience is to partner with a lifestyle brand that has a really strong sensory experience tied in. That makes people feel like they've already experienced or used a product before, even though they've never tried it. And I think head-to-toe fragrance meets home fragrance pairings will also be big this year. Kelly Gooch predicted this, and as a fan channel, I have to agree. I think Mochi Glow is one of the more niche, kind of mid-sized businesses that are leading this charge. They've got a taro ice cream perfume, by the way, and it's amazing. And it actually has a matching candle. But Glossier You has done the same thing with different versions of their perfume, from the solid to the mini, a lotion, which I have and is very strong, and I have to mix it in with an unscented one because it is intense, plus a candle as well. So I assume that's going to continue. We'll see candles to room sprays. I, for one, would dig that. I want the whole house to smell like Glossier You. And that's the end of this video, but I've got some beauty-centric mini docs coming soon, and they'll cover everything from the rise of Instaface and the effect that Western beauty standards have on you, so tune in for that. Until next time, though, I hope you're going well, and I'll see you.